Right, turn 25 then, and what have we got? Yeah, push forward quite a bit. What did he route there? Yeah, I didn't expect them to last that long, to be honest. There was Fusiliers and West Prussians, so there's only 66 men left that were down here. They got caught. What could they do? Oh, they were here, weren't they? They couldn't do anything. They were disordered, couldn't get them back, and they're going to get attacked from behind if we're not careful. We'll get them out if we can. So they've just disordered as soon as I touched them. Like bloody threat disorder. It's I dare say if I try and move them another route. I'm not going to try. Oh, I will try. No, they didn't. Fair enough. But it is very severe. Like threat movement disorder. Because of this, and because of Waterloo games in particular since the update, I've stopped using the threat movement disorder, and just because it's so heavy-handed. I like the idea of it, it's quite realistic. And the other one is route limiting. That's a nasty rule, optional rule. I like it again, like the idea of it. Again, it's realistic, but a friend of mine told me, actually one of the chaps that's playing this, since that rule came in, he had some cavalry overrun some skirmishers of his, and 15 battalions routed along just because of the proximity of those cavalry, and they were half decent troops. And he said, no, that's enough. So yeah, definitely not using that. On the Coolbar Road then. Yep, so I don't think we'll get many more away, as long as we can get those guns away and Tielemans is safe, Zeaton is safe, beg your pardon. We'll carry on with First Corps, getting them up to melee on this road, pull them in as we go along. Third Corps Cavalry, we'll push them on to Lambersart. Plus, we'll see, if there's nothing around Lambersart, I might push them on across the river, just to sort of keep an eye on this area here. But the only cavalry I've got in the area. Don't want to use them all. And where have we got? Blucher and Ligny still. Third Corps well on the march to Marbay. As are elements of First Corps, Second Corps even. And then what have we got down here? These elements of Second Corps, we'll get them down. They're going to go on this road here and go on the march. So what are they going to do? They're going to come up here, go up here, go up here, and then on their merry way to Marbay. I'm not sure. So Marbay, Saint Martin. Yeah, so their little epic journey that they're going to go on. That's going to be up here, up here, up here. Probably up here, up here, up here, and then onto Marbay. Nice thick fence of that. Okay, so that's what they're going to do. Other than that, I will get everybody moving. Courier-wise, nothing. Nothing's arriving this turn for anyone. I've got to open somewhere. Bear with me. We're at turn 25, so nothing's happening until turn 28, 27 and 27. Anything, and there's nothing needs to be sent. As I said, there's no point sending messages for messages' sake. Everybody knows where they're going. They know the situation. The only one that would be Zeaton back to Blucher to inform him of anything. And what could he inform him? I suppose French pushing on. They've reached. Maybe next turn, as they've sort of got a little bit further, that they're getting up towards Lodilnissar. Maybe send something there as a sort of situation report, as it were. Right, I'm going to get moving, and I'll get back to you in a couple. Movement all done. I'll start up in the north, usual fare, Second Corps. Moving their way down, getting a little bit congested because of as a supply wagon ended up at the front, so pull them off the road, let everybody pass, and then they can join in a little bit later. I do have some supplies down towards Marbay, so it's not the end of the world. Second Corps, nicely spread out, reached Marbay now, but they're going to go up, remember, towards this sort of ground, and use the forest as my right flank. There's my supply train. 3rd Corps. They're up already at some breath. They've been marching all day. I just realised they've been marching all day. And as they pass, actually, to be honest, we'll probably send Blucher, and Gneisenau and Pierce across St. Elmand and around this area here. Around Flores, we've got 1st Corps trying to get up towards Mellet. They're not doing too badly. My scouts push forward towards Lambusar. Good news, no signs of anything blue, which is good. So I'm going to middle units. These lancers, they're all lancers. I'm going to go up on this high ground, send these guys over to this high ground, and then they're going to come and push forward just to keep an eye, maybe on the town itself. Keep that rear guard there, just in case he does follow me up in the woods. The cavalry, got my guns away, or as much as possible, so, where are they? There we go. Got my guns away, so they're not doing too bad. Zeaton is up in, where's that? Lumet. Managed to get in a little bit of order down here. Chances are he's going to follow me up with his cavalry. But everybody undisordered, if that makes sense, apart from some cavalry units. These Fusiliers did, but they're an extended line. So they were an extended line, beg your pardon, so I had to put them back into column. They can't go into square. It's only half a battalion, basically. So we'll see. Anyway, they're protecting Zeaton and those guns. That's their job. We may be able to push them into the woods to get away, possibly, but I doubt it. These detached units down here, all I can do is try and get them back. Same with my skirmishers. I'm pushing them up. It's not scouting. I'm not going to attack, cause any disruption or anything like that. It's just they've got so few movement points. I move up a little bit and I try to get them over here out the way, but there is no out the way. The only thing I could do is come right round here, but then if he's got forces there, I'm inadvertently going to scout them. That's not what I want to do. It'd be easier if I could surrender them like our old rules, but there we go. Which is probably what would happen in real life, but there we go. I'll try and get them back. Now my cavalry, I just made a run for it, on the basis that he's so far away that he couldn't charge and meet me anyway, so I've got time to turn them around if I had to next time. That's the principle on behind why my cavalry looks like that. We do have a battery here. I wonder if they can see anyone. They can see some troops in the woods. Why not? Just some shots in anger. Haven't had any shots in anger for a while. Just to get a bit of revenge. That one single gun, I just unlimbered it overlooking the road here. Might be able to fire with it. No. But that was the plan there. Just to do something. To take a couple of them with them if possible. He's got to deal with it. It will allow some of the 1st Corps to escape. They're getting there. They're getting there. Nothing else really major happened there. Bit of a quiet turn. You will get these quiet turns. You can see a bit of red there, which is good. Well, there we go. Right. We'll have a look. We lost about 5,000. Oh no, not quite. Lost 24 guns though. That's out of everything. I suppose the guns are the biggest loss. Cavalry not too bad. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. If he's going to follow me up with his cavalry there in the south, that would be probably the worst thing that could happen at the minute. Because 1st Corps are going to get away in kind of good order. The only other thing is this line from Mellet up towards Marbay is a bit wonky. They'd be better going up towards Frasnay, to be honest, but then we've got some red there, but I don't know that. Just because that's neither can use the woods as a natural barrier. Or send everybody up to Marbay. That's another option. Let me think. Where's the road there? The old Roman road. Up. Again, that's still going to pass there. So old Roman road. up to the ground, because this is the area that we're going to defend. Sort of using that wood, that high ground, along here, and along here. That's a better defensive. Well, that's the Marve defensive line, something like that. I don't know. What do you chaps think? It's over to you for this one. What would you do? Somebody said Ligny, I think, or melee Ligny. It's a bit too late for that. Well, it's not too late, but it's a bit too far south. We'd still take the brunt of it. I want us to be spread out with the allies, and I think even Mellett's too far south. Plus, it's a very wonky 45-degree defensive line. So whoever gets hit here will get hit hard. Or first goal, basically. Right. Somebody was asking me as well, what books did I get for the Prussians to have a look at them. So to end off this video, I think what I'm going to do is just show you a couple of the books that I've got. I'm working my way through it. The reason I haven't done any sort of regimental histories and stuff yet is just I like to read ahead and see where I'm at, make some notes, rather than just sort of do it ad hoc. Okay guys, well we'll have a look at the books, and as for this turn is over. I'll send it over to them, and we'll have a look at the books. Just, as I promised, we'd have a look at the books that I've been looking at for research on this, to try and get an idea of Prussians basically. I don't suppose kleptomaniac or OCD is the right word. I tend to go all in and want as much information as possible. And, you know, I'm going to start with the standard ones. You've got Prussian Army, Lower Rhine, Osprey 1. The trouble is with Osprey books, they're quite simplistic. I mean, there's good information there. It's a good place to start, but they don't go into as much depth as I particularly like for certain things. It's a good starting point for most things, you know, not just the Napoleonic Wars and units and battles and tactics and stuff. However, there's always something missing. They're good books, by all means. They've just never been my favourite. They were when I was little, when I was a bit smaller and a bit younger. And, you know, they're sort of easy going. They've got nice plates in these modern ones. So that's the first one. Prussian Army of the Lower Rhine, 1815, don't forget. There was another Prussian army before sort of 1808, 1812, before they reformed, and you can get that book as well. But this is specifically for sort of the Prussians in Waterloo. Going up from that then, I also got Prussian Napoleonic Tactics 1792 to 1815, another Osprey book. Again, quite simplistic. It's not bad. There's a lot of nice sort of original plates there. Recommended, yeah, it's not too bad. I'd have this book before I would have the other one, the first one. It goes into a little bit more depth, and there's some really nice snippets. A lot of it is to do pre-1806. And then at the end, yeah, it's not too bad. However, the best book, the best two books by far are Prussian Army to 1815 from Digby Smith. Fantastic book. Not the cheapest, not the most expensive. Some Napoleonic books, if you're a collector, which I'm a collector, I've got quite a large collection of Napoleonic books. Not too bad as price goes, about £40, something like that. However, it is really nice. It goes through the artillery. It goes through where I've marked it all off. New line infantry regiments after 1815. Breaks them down, tells you when they earned their colours, what they did during the battle and things like that. It's really, really good book. As you can see, I've marked everything off. Foot artillery, really nice plates. Doesn't really discuss too much about tactics and things like that. It doesn't go into any great depth. Into any great depth. But what it does have is every single regiment, every single battery, every single squadron that was present during the Napoleonic Wars, Prussians, I mean. There we go, it tells you what everybody did. It is a really good book, so I'd really recommend that one if you're interested in the Prussians. Digby Smith, done a lot of books, Digby Smith, or Otto von Pivka, to give him his other name. Another useful book, a little bit older and quite a little bit harder to find, is this one, Prussian Army by David Nash, 1808 to 1815, the exact period that I want. You won't find a new copy of this. I think it's printed in the 70s, was it? Something like that. Where have we got? 72, okay. However, this is a lot better. This is what an Osprey book should be, and you can see a lot of Osprey have taken from this book. Okay, not the best pictures, not the best plates and things like that, but the detail, the information in here for each regiment, what they wore, what they did is absolutely fantastic. There is some colour plates, some small colour plates. And because I haven't got much time on my hands at the minute with all the stuff I'm putting out and back to work and doing private tuition and stuff, I've marked everything I want to read, and it's just a case of sitting down, writing a load of notes and going through it all. I love researching. I won't read this book from cover to cover. I'll skim it, mark it, have a look at what to do, have a look at what the same thing is in another book, for example, and then come up with my own set of notes. And that's how I do sort of regimental history. Well, that's how I'm planning to do them. That's a really good book. Another good book is a little bit more generalistic, Napoleonic Army Handbook, British and Allies, Richard Partridge and Michael Oliver. Now, there is a French one for this that is fantastic as well. It's basically sort of a regimental history for every single Allied unit from every Allied nation, and the French one does the same thing. Bear with me one sec. There we go, they come in too, French Army and our Allies as well. This one you can find for second hand, maybe £5, £6, £7, and then some postage, something like that. This one is going for about 100. Okay, even second hand, it's quite hard to find. However, one day, just out of the blue, as I often do, had a look on eBay, and I saw this for £15, then maybe £2, £3 postage, and that was it, straight away, poof. As soon as I got it, I was in there. Okay, really, really good books. Regimental history throughout the whole war of each country. And you break it down, and got to the Prussians, it's pre-1808. Spanish Army we got there, all Allied nations. Oh, there we go, Prussian Army, regiment title, what the parent units were after they split up and reorganised, engagements fought in each campaign. Tells you about some sort of famous leaders and things like that. Barclay de Tolly, okay, for the Russians, how it's organised and things like that. A fantastic book, I thoroughly recommended. As I say, it's a bit more generalistic than just Waterloo, it's for the whole of the wars, but if you can find it, if you find the French one, if you're interested in the French, cheap. But it is very rare to find it cheap. The last one, I have to thank John Rawlins on the Napoleonic War Forum on Facebook. I was looking for a book about the actual Prussian movement rather than the regiments themselves. I got them more than covered. And he put me onto this one, this side of it. Okay, and this is only volume 1. Waterloo campaign, a lot of you will be familiar with it, from Elba to Ligny and Quatre Bras. Now, I could have gone with, I can't remember the chap's name, Hofschruer, basically a German author that has also gone through the Prussians and the Germanic Allied battalions and regiments as well. However, reading a lot of reviews about him, and he's extremely anti-British, okay? So it got me to think it's a little bit one-sided. I'm not bothered about that. I make up my own mind with reading. That's why I love reading so much. I've always got about 4 or 5 books in the go. And, you know, that's part of being, I'm going to say amateur historian, something like that, or an amateur enthusiast anyway. You make up your own mind. You read, you expand your horizons, and you can make up your own mind and opinion. That's all it is. Anyway, it's all sort of subjective. However, this has got all the movements, where everybody was, why they were there. However, I just haven't got around to it yet. It's been lying next to my computer. I've often found when I'm sort of uploading a video and I've got 5 minutes, I'll read a chapter or something like that. However, it's thoroughly recommended. Okay, so those are the books, amongst others here and there, Esposito's map book and things like that, that I'm using to basically read through this and put a little bit of context into who and why I'm moving these units around. Turn 26 then. It seems a long time since we've done one of these, or I've been on this. Well, and it has, to be honest. I mean, Wellington has been on holiday, went out to Spain, enjoyed the nice weather, even though we've had nice weather in the UK. So I quite like sometimes going back to bigger ones after a couple of days, because you get to see it from a sort of a fresh perspective, and you get to sort of not forget what you were doing, but be able to maybe spot things you potentially missed or something like that. Saying that, I've missed all that blue. A lot of blue down at Charleroi, as we expect, and an awful lot of cavalry. And infantry following up with artillery. So we got to get up that road as quick as possible. We got routed unit, have we? Oh yeah, we did have it. And yep, they've gone as I expected. They were there as sacrificial lambs to a certain extent. Then yeah, 6%, 48 men, they're goners. And we got that one gun there. Yep, some skirmishers. It's all about getting everybody up that road still. That's about all we can do. What else have we got? So those guns are well out of the way. Good. Can we get anyone away from here? Okay, they're routed. They're routed. They're going to stay where they are. Interestingly, they haven't disrupted. They're going to go into square. Our poor pioneers. So we're going to have to sacrifice these troops. Is it gamey? Potentially. But you'd expect some people in real life, some units in real life, to sacrifice themselves, possibly. I mean, I have tried to get everyone away, and we've done. I think personally, I've done half a decent job of it. Perhaps some of you might have done a couple of things a little bit different. Of course, you can say that the whole game, but specifically to get Zeaton's core away, we're going to get the guts of it away. I hope. I think. The problem is if that cavalry catches up with us here, we've got the river for protection, and hopefully by that time we'll be well on our way to melee. What have we got over here? So we're going to have to get 3rd Corps up on the march, get my scouts out into Lambusar, some scouts down here as well. I haven't seen any blue down here at all. Possibly when we get to this sort of high ground here we might. But that's kind of good news. I was half expecting when I came out of the woods a couple of turns ago to see a lot of blue here and catch 3rd Corps out on the march. However, those elements of 2nd Corps, where are we? They are still going to carry on up that road north to St. Martin and across. Bigger picture up this end. Have we got background sounds? Yeah. Up this end, they're going to carry on, get into melee. Okay, so we're all spread out. We're very much spread out. Marbay, we're almost up. Oh, we did pass Marbay, exactly. So see, it's nice getting re-familiar with it all, isn't it? They're spread out, but they're going to the woods in this area, aren't they, to sort of spread out and take advantage of that high ground. And our supply wagon, 3rd Corps, are up on the road there. At some point, we're going to have to move Blucher out of Ligny, sort of St. Armand way, and then he's going to have to go up to Genappe to meet tomorrow morning with Wellington, have a Zoom call, and be able to come up with some form. I mean, that's when it's going to get interesting, probably. And come up with some form of grand strategy on how to beat our French opponent. I don't really want to look at the jump map for the bigger picture. But that's where we're at. Business as usual. 2nd Corps going to come down, continue coming down. 3rd Corps continue marching up. 1st Corps trying to continue to escape and getting some semblance of order. Remember, we do have a lot of troops this side of the woods. This is all sort of 1st Corps up here, and then here, and then here. That's all 1st Corps. And they're a long way back. I mean, and he's there. Okay. Can he get involved? Well, we'll see when we get there. What I do want to do is send whoever is in charge in Frasnay a message, or somewhere up here. I think I may have discussed it before, but the reason behind that is that that would happen in real life. Lead elements here, scout elements, and who is it? Bren in charge of these? I can't remember now. Anyway, whoever's, I'll have to have a look in a second. He would send into, it won't all be to Wellington. We're trying to do it corps to corps, but just to tell him I'm going to go and take a position on the east side of Bois du Hut. That's my intentions, and then he'll be able to sort of sort himself out. Otherwise, they're just acting blind. There was intercommunication between allies, not just between Blucher and Wellington. So I don't think that's unrealistic. Please let me know in the comments. Would it be a gamey tactic or unrealistic, with the spirit that we're trying to play this, for me to send a message from this corps here to whoever's in charge here? I'll have to get the hex and see who it is and what have you. From my opponent, and I'm not going to go looking for it. And basically send him a message to say what my intentions are here. Otherwise, he's just like, oh, a lot of people arriving, what they doing? Let's wait for Wellington tomorrow or to get word to us. So I personally think I can do it, but a second opinion, a third opinion would be quite nice. All right, I'm going to get cracking, get moving, and get back to you in a few. So just looking at the courier system before I forget as well. There isn't anything arriving this turn, but let's sort of look ahead to a little bit. 27 and 27. So who's getting Zeaton? We'll find out. Your last order is well received. He's shifting his course, so he's confirming to Blucher that he's going up towards melee. And he's told him what the French have been doing basically. Course spread between Charleroi and Fleurus, and French have completely taken the city. Saint-François has also fallen. French cavalry entered Châtelet. French in force at Charleroi, believed to have crossed the bridge. So Blucher is aware that there's or he will be aware there's a significant French presence down there. Same turn, Blucher sent to Bruza, received your last, make with all haste, using the best possible route to the village of Marbe to join with the rest of Second Corps. So I actually skipped a turn on that one. I thought, because they're on their way up already, they've just made a little turn. What turn would that have been that I thought? So what are we on now? 26, are we? I can't remember. Let's have a look. Yeah, turn 26. So it must have been kind of been more than a turn. I remember writing it. Maybe I'm getting confused with the writing. I haven't gained anything from it. I'll show you what I mean in a sec. We'll start up here then. So Second Corps, they're on their way down, or the second part of Second Corps, third part of Second Corps even. We have got to Marbe. We've spread out, and our attached cavalry is sort of going to spread out now, sort of in this area here. Take up ground. That high ground is quite nice, and this little village here. And yeah, definitely take there and defend there. Send some scouts out into the woods. So it is good defensive ground. It's not a bad place to make a stand, should I say. Everybody's very well spread out there. Look at all that. This is Third Corps. How long are they going to take to get to Marbe? Probably about 4 turns. Lead elements, something like that. I've split my supply wagon up. Just and bring them down here, and then the rest of them will sort of come up here. Don't need them all in one place. Third Corps all spread out. Third Corps all spread out. Third Corps all spread out. What I didn't do is bring my scouts forward. Let's get you there. You're on the high ground just to make sure there's nothing there. There. Okay, and you can go on this high ground here. No blue, that's good. There was also no blue down here towards Togning that I could see with what I've got down there. They're going to continue advancing their scouts. The problem, well, not a problem. We have from the start extended the courier rule to scouts. That basically means if I was to sight French down here, the scouts have seen them. Blucher and the corps commanders have not. Therefore, a courier dispatch has to go to the corresponding commander and then back up to Blucher, not obviously direct to Blucher. So who are they? They're Third Corps, so they go to I'm tired. They go to the corps commander, and from the corps commander then up to Blucher, unless you've got a initiative roll. Not Pierce, not Zeaton. Oh, that's really, really annoying me. That's embarrassing. Long day, very tired. And lost all train of thought now. Okay, so First Corps got most of them through Fleurus. Last little elements acting as a rear guard. They're going to stay there, as I said. And what have we got here? We've got what I couldn't do, because I forgot they were initially in extended line formation, so they couldn't go in square, but they're in good order. 283 of them, might as well get them away. So managed to get them across the road out the way. Poor Pioneers is going to stay there, as are these poor reserve cavalry, or Westphalian Landwehr cavalry. They're going to stay there just to disrupt them, just to try and get as many people and units away as I can. Slow going on the road, unfortunately, so I managed to get up what I could. Guns got out the way, which is good, but it's slow going here, so I'm going to have to hopefully try and delay the French as much as possible. Good thing is they've only got infantry here. Got a gun here, but oh, I can't see. Can't see. Ah, okay. Can these guys see anything? Yeah, they can see them. So we'll have a crack. Okay. Cavalry-wise, got to wait and turn them round. It's going to be a game of cat and mouse. A few hexes and turn them round. A few hexes, turn them round. A few hexes, turn them round. Did think about drawing them off out here. However, French cavalry this time was numerous and it was still good. My cavalry's no match for theirs. In numbers, in terms of numbers, and in terms of quality. Prussians didn't have the best cavalry sort of on the whole anyway. They were above average for some nations. I mean, every nation had good and bad cavalry, but on the whole, Prussians were below, certainly French. French, best cavalry of the whole Napoleonic Wars. Pound for pound, I can't think of a bad French cavalry unit. Chasseurs chevals, maybe they're the worst, but they're still better than some people's, some nations' cavalry. And what's he got here? Hussars, Lancers, Chevalier Lancers, a lot of Lancers still, yeah. Anyway, they're going to be B, maybe C, B, possibly even A. Good cavalry, basically. There's your Chasseurs chevals. So, yeah, not going to go too far with them. These poor guys are stuck where they are. Poor skirmishers down here, all 13 of them, trying to get them away as best I can. I'm not scouting with them, I promise. I'm just trying to get them away. And around here and down here are Brandenburgs. They moved one whole hex up the road in line formation. They just will not sort themselves out. We'll try and get them away as much as possible. Can't see it though. How are we doing for numbers? Ooh, you wouldn't have thought 26 turns. That we could lose 3,500 men, but somehow I've managed. And 24 guns, and 40 supplies, and quite a lot of cavalry. Mind you, he's lost. That's where we're winning. Cavalry, I'll take that. Shallow victory, but I'll take it. And 1,000 men. Remember, these Prussians aren't the best army. It's not an excuse. Bad workman blames his tools and everything. But they weren't the best Prussian army by a long shot. As far as I've read, they were the worst army that the Prussians fielded. All the good stuff, the Guard and the Cuirassiers and everything, they're in Germany, where I would love them here. That'd be a nice hypothetical. We are talking about redesigning the map, creating a map. The problem we've got is that the Napoleonic series does not have a map editor included. As I understand, some of the Panzer Battle games have, and some of the older games have, and some of the other series have a map editor, and a fairly simple to use map editor as well. I found text-based ones, sort of third-party ones that people have done on the internet, and they are, I just don't know. It's like reading the Matrix or something. You've got to go online, get a map, put it in, it starts it's impossible. I'm not computer literate, but certainly above my skill set. But what we're trying to do is make an even bigger map as a long-term project, as a sort of a pet project, extend it, make it into Belgium, maybe put more units as a what if, as a nice campaign map. Long-term project, pipe dream, possibly, but we're looking into it. I can understand why they don't want to release a map editor, that otherwise every sort of Tom, Dick and Harry will be doing maps and it would just be saturated, there'd be poor quality map. I can understand to a certain extent why they don't put a map editor out there, and they may do it hex by hex, tile by tile, and you know, fair play to them, map design and things like that. And I have tried, the closest I got was the early American Wars. I've got 1812, and that's got a map editor in it, and you can load up a map from the NAP games. However, certain hexes, I think fields and possibly towns, they just appear as blank hexes, and I've tried everything to try and fix that and just gave up. I got so close, I got so excited when I opened it up and was like, oh my goodness, we're sort of there. But then it just wouldn't take, you couldn't load it back up, and it was just a bit of a nightmare. So close but no cigar. Where are we? What else have we got? Nothing really. There's that those elements of Second Corps. So they haven't really gained that much. I suppose by all rights, next turn I shouldn't move them. No, because they received it I think that's what I might do in the interest of fair play. They can stay where they are for the next turn. Let's say they're sorting themselves out, they're scouting, they're in a bit of confusion waiting for orders or something, but those orders just happen to be coming the next turn. And then when you receive orders, you can't act on it until the turn after that, because it's going to take you that 15 minutes to actually sort yourselves out, pass all the word back to all the battalions, and act on those orders. So there we go. I think that's about it for this turn. Not much else to say, really. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully it won't be so long for turns and videos now. You'll be pleased to know. I'm not going to say it's every day, just because I've got a lot going on. I've got back to work, I'm back on furlough next week, and a few turns got with the OG. I've got Denovitz, and started the Battle of Paris, and we've got Coruña in Spain going on. We've got a long-term Leipzig, got a, what else have we got on? Bautzen campaign, this campaign. I've got my Command and Colours tabletop project, doing custom hexes and units for that. Wish I never started that, but there we go. And got more research to do, got reading to do, got private work to do, got loads going on. To answer Mark Trowbridge, and I know you're watching, Mark, how do I find time to do this? Well, there's not 45 hours in a day. The quick answer is I'm single, mate. I'm single. I was together for years, and you know, life being life, and this kind of hobby and interest being what it is, it's not maybe the coolest hobby in the world. And you get to a certain age, you just don't really care what people think anymore. And it basically allowed me to free up time, and you know, have a decent job, and I work hard for what I get and spend it on what I want, and basically be able to live out kind of my boyhood fantasy in my 30s. And that's how I get the time, mate. It's a hobby. I'm not antisocial by any stretch of the imagination, but just, you know, sometimes I'm happy in my own company. I prefer to do this kind of thing sometimes than go out and be social for the sake of being social, if that makes sense. Right. I will leave it there now, and I will get back to you hopefully maybe tomorrow, next day with the next turn this. Thank you for watching. Appreciate the comments. One thing, John, to the heads that are watching, I accidentally pressed hotkey C Charlie, and I don't know what I did. It goes to, here we go, continuous mode on or continuous mode off. I can't remember without picking up the manual what it means and what I've done there, and if I've done something that's shouldn't have done. I'll have to read that. Continuous mode on or continuous mode off. Nothing happened on the screen. I was moving units around, press C, and oh, continuous mode. Damn, don't know what it means. But there we go. So I will read the manual, but yeah, there we go. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.